to the Ward 1 seat. So Dave, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. Joe, always a pleasure.
Yeah, we almost lost you there in the chair.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Crashed right into the studio.
Yes. Did you want to respond to any of your challengers' comments?
Yeah, I think a lot of his comments, they get exaggerated real quick. I heard a little bit out there of, the Maritime Center. The Maritime Center was Hurley's boat rental at one time. It's a cement block building that had the Maritime Police in there, the police unit pretty much. They did some safety training in there for boating and some other events, but it was a pretty dreary building. There was not a sad face or any opposition when the Maritime Center came down. There's always talk they didn't have any plans. There were plans laid out by Councilor Forrest at that time, and things were ready to get going when we hit 2018, and we had a little seawall issue. So I hear that, and I just kind of brush it aside because the Maritime Center is still to be slated at the end of Howe's Neck. We still have to deal with one other house down there. And we will probably move forward quickly with that, hopefully, and put up a nice center down there for the folks. But it always sounds like there was a big center, a big, beautiful center that we had there that we got rid of. And it was a pretty dreary cement block building that didn't really serve the community the way it should have, the way this will. So it disappoints me a little bit. There's a lot of exaggeration that comes out of the camp with Joe and his friends, and we've got a lot done down there.
What about the? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what about the parcel that was the Imperial Terrace?
Yeah, so we had a meeting like anybody else. If you two gentlemen were buying a piece of property and they came in front of zoning or planning, however that pans out in regards to what their requirements are, and it was zoning in this case first. They'll still have to go through a planning site review. They came in with their first, I'll call it the first inning of the game, and presented 4 stories, 24-unit condo in a very, very tough location at the Imperial Terrace, as we all know. I think if anything gets placed there, if these buildings don't get placed there, these units, and something else gets placed there, because something eventually will go in that lot. It's a tough lot no matter what you put there. C Street is very fast, and that was a tough turn and a tough exit when we had the Imperial Terrace Chinese restaurant there. So they're going back to the drawing board. I know that I'll probably see something soon that's hopefully reduced in size, that's set back, that the design's changed. It still might not work. There are a lot of moving parts, but it's just the beginning. If we were 6, 7 meetings deep, I'd say, yeah, we need to do something about this. But really, it's just begun. So I try to put the neighbors at ease. We had a great community meeting, about 25 people, and mostly up in that area. There's no conspiracy routine going, and we will show everything to everybody.
And just talk, if you, in general, about zoning issues within your ward.
Well, Ward 1's a little different than some of the other wards. I think I have the luxury of not having as many issues in regards to Business B or Business A or 6-story buildings or whatever. I really hover around Residence B, Business A, which is 3 stories. So take the Imperial Terrace, that's Residence B. If they were to put residence up there, 3 stories. That whole corridor of C Street, that runs from the police station down through Adams Shore, the supermarket, and those areas in Adams Shore, and then also goes down into Howe's Neck beyond the Willows down in the fire station area. There's pockets of areas that I was concerned of way back when we had the Louis discussion with the parking lot down there. We wanted to make sure that whatever went on that lot was reasonable and not monstrous to the neighborhood. But there are pockets all the way up. I'm trying to look at those pockets, and I've had meetings with the administration, and there's an ordinance that's still in there that needs some more work. I haven't acted on it because I want to see if I can broaden it all the way up to the top of my ward, which would be up in this area, to try to put some restraints when someone changes from a business like the Imperial Terrace to a residence, that we can control it. I don't want to take a lifelong dream of at some point I'm going to develop this lot, it's my retirement money, and have someone who owns it get themselves all worked up that we're going to change it to Residence A and you can only put a single family home there now. That's not my purpose. I want to just try to keep the developers under control, and there are pockets on C Street that are concerning. Grumpy White's is another one. If that doesn't become a restaurant again, which I don't think it is, you know, you're going to have the same type of movement that is going on, and that's Res B, and that's 3 stories.
That is the future of development, right? Is residents and...
Yeah, and you don't want it. I was always, like I said, Ward 1 is 98% Res A, really, if you look at it. There are areas where there are, you know, multifamilies, but they were there long before the zoning laws got tightened up. And I don't think we need anything else. As you go down C Street on the other side of the Fox and Hounds, you've got the Simons apartments. They're 5 stories. On the other side of Our Lady of Good Counsel, there's a 5-story apartment building. It all kind of snuck in there, and all kind of happened back before, you know, we tightened everything up, and that was years ago when they tightened things up.
Sure. Always a pleasure, Dave.
No, thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to a couple more years of getting a lot of things done in Ward 1.
And visits to QATV.
Yes, plenty of visits to QATV.
We'd love to have you.
Doug.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dave.
Good night.
Night.
Dave McCarthy, the Ward 1 City Councilor here.